All right, we're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. We're going to be breaking down. Matt, I'll get you in just a second. Welcome to another episode of the Awards Central podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, obviously, we are going to break down the nominees for the 97th Academy Awards. There's a lot to talk about. Some good, some weird, some indifferent. The Amelia Perez haters are crying all over the Twitter sphere. The substance lovers are happy. Nickel Boys in Best Picture. Funny enough, I get a text message that said "Told you so" about The Substance. Whenever I told you so, in return to Benji about James Mangold and directing. There's a lot to unpack here, a lot to say. Just some initial thoughts there.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it wasn't as crazy as I thought it could be, right up until the end, when, well, one, Berger got snubbed in director, and then Mangold and Farjot made it into director, which I wasn't expecting. But then when I'm Still Here made it into Best Picture, I went fucking mental. In a good way. I just wasn't expecting it one bit.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing. A couple snubs here and there, a couple things that happened that I'm not too shocked about. Joined by my buddy here, Matthew Fox. How are you, sir?
Doing pretty good. Always an exciting morning.
It is an exciting morning for sure. Let's see here. All right, we'll talk about just the bigger categories. Obviously, here we'll start on the surface. Obviously, Monica Barbero getting in. I have been on that train for a couple weeks now. Benji can attest to that. No real surprises other than her in this category. So, I mean, thoughts on this category, Benji?
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, it could have been a lot wilder, and in a way, I'd kind of convinced myself that it was going to be Jamie Lee Curtis as a fifth spot. Nonetheless, I'm not complaining one bit. I think that Monica Barbero is actually, out of all of the potential fifth slots, I'm talking Selena Gomez, Monica Barbero herself, Jamie Lee Curtis, she was the most deserved. So even though I'm not a big fan of A Complete Unknown, I'm more than happy to see her name amongst these actresses, honestly.
Well, I'm not a complete fan of you, so that goes hand in hand. Matthew Fox, what you got, man?
Yeah, I thought she did a good job in that movie. I think early on there was a lot of people pushing for Elle Fanning, but I liked Monica Barbero a little better in that one. I thought it was nice to see her name called. I think that gave, some of that first wave of nominations gave you an idea of the films that were going to be in and where they were going.
Yeah, Complete Unknown got lots and lots of love. Do we have a count yet? Does anybody have an accurate count on nominees yet?
I was keeping count and then I completly lost it. So
yeah, I'm waiting for to be determined. Yeah. I'm waiting for nomination. I'm waiting for the Academy to upload it to their site. I'm just kind of waiting for that. I don't have anything quite yet in their site. They just put this up a few minutes ago. But moving on to actress in a leading role, because it's just next on the list. No real surprises here. The fifth slot was always up for grabs, always going to be determined in who it's going to be. First off, congratulations to Carla Sofia Gascon for making history.
100%.
That is an amazing nomination. It's a record-setting nomination. And to be honest with you, it couldn't come at a better time in culture and society. So congratulations to her for her nomination. Mikey Madsen, Demi Moore, Cynthia, those four were there. There was plenty of people being named at number 5. Fernanda Torres, I'm not very upset with that. Matthew Fox, what is your thoughts on the lead actresses?
Yeah, I think I like the movie Hard Truths more than other people. Marianne Jean-Baptiste.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a flattering role in terms of not a character that you're in love with, but I thought she did so well there. I would have liked to see her break in.
You know what? I had Marianne Jean-Baptiste for the longest time, up until a couple of days ago, as my number 5, and then Fernanda Torres as my number 6. Thank God I changed it last minute, because of that and the Best Picture nomination, I would have felt rightful.
Yeah, Exactly. And then, of course, moving on to supporting actor. No real surprise here outside of the number 5 slot. I've been on, again, another one that I've been on the train for, and that's Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown. I've said for weeks that I thought that he was going to get in, and he's got a lot of the precursors to get in as well. And then, of course, the big one here, Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice, which had a very strong showing, which, I mean, I think it only got 2 nominations total anyway, but they got 2 very pivotal nominations here.
Oh, yeah.
But first, talking in that supporting role, obviously the funniest thing, anybody that is a fan of Succession, you have Kieran Culkin versus Jeremy Strong in this category, which is absolutely hilarious. A year after both of them end their run at Succession, Kieran Culkin won the Emmy, the Golden Globe, and everything last year for Succession. He's going to go on and win the Academy Award for supporting actor in A Real Pain. It's going to happen. Just close the door. That thing's done. Locked away the key. But very happy for him. But the biggest surprise here is no Clarence Macklin in Max Sanson, my boy Max in here, Marine Jean-Baptiste. I do agree. I think she's great in the film. I don't love the film, but she's phenomenal. Benji, no Clarence Macklin here, man.
It's a shame because I wanted to see him turn up, but it's not shocking. I mean, I am going to brag a little bit now here, Ricky. I am 5 for 5 in this category. So, but yeah, no, that being said, though, and I don't know how people are going to feel about me saying this, I really like Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice. I don't love the film, but it is a really great performance. And in fact, I'm going to piss off some Anora stands when I say this, but out of all the nominees, if I had to choose one to swap out for Clarence Macklin, it would be Yuri Borisov for Anora.
I agree. And the thing about it is I don't think the Apprentice is that good of a movie. I think it's okay, but my favorite part of it was Jeremy Strong. I thought he was the best. I thought he was the anchor of the film, and I thought he gave a much better nuanced performance here. And Yuri Borisov, it was going to happen. I'm just sad it happened, just because it's a performance. Fox, thoughts on the category here?
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Clarence Macklin too. I think he's the only other one we thought would make it in that didn't. But I thought Jeremy Strong was amazing. I always had him up pretty high. I thought, to me, he was the best part of The Apprentice.
Yeah, agreed 100%. I just realized that, but for those of you at home, we're not going to go over every category, but it is the Macklin did end up getting nominated.
I will say,
the screenplay.
Oh, you beat me to it. So he is still technically a nominee.
He's technically a nominee, which I'm very happy
Maybe
about.
He'll be one of those guys on the producers yet to be determined for half of the Best Picture field. Maybe they're just waiting to see who got snubbed that they can assign to one of those films.
You know what? That's really snub because that used to happen loads back in the day. But over the past few years, the whole nominees to be determined hasn't really been a thing. They've usually been quite well prepared for that, and I'm very interested to know why this year there's so many cases.
Having one or two would have been okay, but like they had to make jokes. There was 5, I think.
Yeah, in the email from the Academy that I got, animated feature, documentary feature, best picture of title, film titles with nominees yet to be determined. Per the award rules, to qualify as a producer nominee for a nominated picture, the producer must have determined eligibility for the PGA award for the picture or has successfully appealed the PGA's refusal of such eligibility. The remaining designated Oscar nominees will be announced by early February. Of course, the active Academy Awards are eligible to vote for the winners in all 23 categories between February 11th and February 8th, with the 97th Oscars happening on March the 2nd, 2025. Very excited about that, obviously. Moving into leading role, again, the 4 has been predicted for months on who the top 4 would be. Sebastian Stan sliding in for The Apprentice. Not very sad about this because, and I'll say why. I don't mind the nominee. It's not a performance that I particularly love, but Daniel Craig in Quitters, a film that I thought was just totally lackluster, and I didn't love his performance. So Sebastian Stan getting love for a film that was consistently pushed to the side over and over again by fellow actors, by fellow studios, by fellow people, and their refusal to push the film because of the what the film's about. It's kind of in my opinion, a big FU to a lot of the people in the industry seeing this nomination happen here. Benji, your thoughts here?
Again, if you listen to our podcast, I'm very happy boy today because I got another 5 out of 5. That being said, though, I am still. I kind of went with Sebastian Stan purely because I felt like it was weird to have Jeremy Strong in supporting actor, but then not Stan in actor. Nonetheless, I was still kind of expecting Daniel Craig in a way. Purely because even though he missed BAFTA, that SAG nomination was so surprising to the point where I felt like it made the BAFTA snub irrelevant. Clearly, it didn't make it irrelevant because Stan is here, and like you said, I'm actually very pleased that Stan is here because even though I am a fan of Daniel Craig in general, and I do quite like his performance in Queer, having somebody like Sebastian Stan, who's had the year that he's had with A Different Man and The Apprentice, and the fact that, like you said, like the Apprentice was constantly pushed aside and nobody seemed to respect it, even for its performances. To see Stan here now for this, especially with Trump having only just been put into power again, it's very, very satisfying.
It is. It is. Fox, any thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, there's 2 actors in here who, you could flip a coin and just pick which of their movies you feel like the nomination is really for. With Timothée Chalamet, I still loved him in Dune Part 2. So in my heart, that's what I'm going to think this is for. And Sebastian Stan, I'm glad he got in and didn't split the vote because I thought he was great in A Different Man as well. And there was a lot of fear that, people would vote for one or the other, and he'd have such a strong year that he'd knock himself out. So it's nice he made it in.
Yeah. So to me, the one thing that's one thing that I was going to mention as well. Obviously, I've been saying this. I said this on the podcast with Benji. Once I hear Timothée Chalamet's name, it's for like a complete Dune Part 2. You know what I mean? Like it's a Dune Part Unknown. I don't know. It's for one of those mixture of films. And then of course for Sebastian Stan, I agree. I mean, A Different Man should have been the film that they pushed to the moon. Sebastian Stan should technically, if he really wanted to be, could have been a double nominee here, but you could have taken Adrian Brody out and I'd have been the happiest man in the world.
I must correct you, Ricky. You can't be double nominated in the same acting category. You can get supporting and lead, but you can't get both of the same.
I don't care. I make my own rules. Okay.
I will say
our show.
I really loved Ray Fiennes in Conclave. That was one of my favorite movies, and
I think he's an underdog to win.
I hope he does win.
Well, Timothée Chalamet is going to win. I've been calling that for months. All right, moving right along. No real surprises. Cinematography. Nickel Boy's not being here. That's sad. This being Maria's lone nomination is wild.
Hey, more nominations than Luca Guadagnino. So
yeah, I was very sad here whenever obviously at the first half you didn't hear Dune at all, and then finally Dune started getting some love on the back half of the production there. So that was definitely something that I found interesting. Gladiator with its lone nomination here. Directing. It was crazy because forget getting nominated is a shock. It is. And I understand by saying people like, yes, people were predicting it. I'm not saying that, but I think a lot of people were predicting it based on the idea of a hope I hope this gets nominated. I hope this gets nominated. There has been some underlining things that she has gotten that brought the nomination to fruition, but we all know the history of women and the Academy direction. It's a thing. It's a terrible thing. I do think that I am mad because Sean Baker being on this list is a disgrace to this list. I don't love 3 of the 5 films being nominated here, but Denis being snubbed for Dune Part 2 is by far one of the biggest snubs in the last decade, alongside of Ramel Ross for Nickel Boys, which those 2 films will stand the test of time when it comes down to it. Anora is going to be a film that most people forget even exists in a year, or at least until Sean Baker's next film is announced. But the one that I want to take a victory lap on here, I saw it picking up steam over the last 24 hours. Benji and I talked about this. Do we record Sunday, Benji?
Sunday, correct.
Sunday, I said on the show that I felt like the DGA nomination was going to result into Mangold. And when early on, when we started hearing A Complete Unknown in places where it was like 50-50, but then Barbero got in and then Norton got in. Like Norton was kind of like almost became like a person that you thought was going to get nominated, but then it was like it's still toss up because that category was still strong. But Mangold, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I think that it deserves it. It definitely doesn't deserve it over, Ramil Ross or Denis, but I did like his direction quite a bit, and I do love the film quite a bit. But to me, this was interesting. And then, of course, Jacques Adord getting in. There was a lot of people expecting a snub here based on just the plethora amount of nominees is what we're going to say there. But Benji, your thoughts on obviously very happy here with Fargeat getting in for.
I'm extremely happy to see The Substance made it in to director, but I'm also massively kicking myself because I caved last minute and I put Anora to be snubbed in director. And then I also didn't have a complete unknown in. I had Nickel Boys in. So I believe I didn't do well in the category at all. So basically, in a nutshell, I'm not happy. So I got Brutalist, Emilia Perez, and Substance right. Did not get an or a complete unknown, but it's a really good lineup. No, it's not. I'll be honest.
Stop sugarcoating it, man. We keep it real on this podcast. This lineup actually is cheeks. I'm sorry.
I'm very, very, very happy with Brutalist, Emilia Perez, and Substance. I know that you're a fan, Ricky. A Complete Unknown, I think, is a ridiculous nomination in director. Same as Anora. I feel like Nickel Boy, Sing Sing, with Cedar the Sacred Fig,
Denis,
All Imaginers Light, Denis. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna throw up.
All would have been better. Even Edward Berger Conclave.
Yeah.
There's like 6 other films that are better in this category. So it's more good than it is bad because there's 3 really good nominees, in my opinion, but 2 of them can get the fuck out of here.
To me, it's 2 really good nominees, or one to me. And the thing about it, I'll say this actually. I think, and again, this is me speaking, I think all 5 nominees suck compared to what the field could represent. You know what I mean? I don't think a film on here. I don't mind the Emilia Perez. It probably would have made my ultimate 5, but Edward Berger and Conclave, when I watched it a second time, I was like, this guy should probably win direction. You know what I mean? If it was, because Ramil Ross was never a serious contender because the Academy's a joke sometimes, and Denis not being here is just an astronomical, absolutely absurd snub here. But Fox, I know you're a Berger fan. I know you're a Conclave fan. I think you're in that same boat, right?
Yeah, and I was going to tell you, they finally tallied some stuff up. Emilia Perez led all nominees with 13. The Brutalist,
let's go.
Wicked with 10.
How many did Wicked get? Because Wicked overperformed.
The Brutalist and Wicked with 10. They were tied for second. So
I'll tell you what.
Emilia Perez is 1 nomination away from tying the record for most nominations a movie's ever got.
When Wicked early on was overperforming, I was so afraid for our director category. You know what kills me too about you mentioned Denis Villeneuve is Dune Part 1, which I don't think was as good of a film, got 10 Oscar nominations, and almost a universal agreement that Dune Part 2 was superior in every way, and it's gonna what it has like 2 or 3 maybe. Yeah, it's I mean, it did get picture, which it's crazy that it got picture, and it doesn't make any sense to me. The picture that it gets picture and then nothing else. Like,
are they giving it like Lord of the Rings treatment, where now that they know there's going to be a 3rd one, they're just waiting, and no matter what quality.
Well, Wicked got 10 nominations, and we're unfortunately getting a second movie.
No,
of that too, so
what I was trying to say is with Lord of the Rings, they basically, you knew they were going to win everything for Return of the King. No matter how that movie performed, because it was going to be a cumulative award. And I almost wonder if that's what's going on with Dune. They're like, well, once he does Messiah, we'll give it everything.
Which is bullshit. And the thing about it is, Messiah could be the worst movie ever. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Regardless of quality, is Messiah going to be?
Yeah, it's insane to me, like that we're consistently doing that. I mean, especially like, oh, well, then why give Dune Part 1 any nominations then? You know what I mean? Like,
But, you mentioned Wicked being Dune Part 1 got like 10 nominations, didn't win a whole bunch of things either, but got all the kind of technical categories and then a couple others sprinkled in. So you have to see if Wicked wins any of these categories.
And you know what? There aren't a ton of movies here that got like loads of nominations that are in Best Picture. So you've got Wicked, Emilia Perez, and then The Brutalist. But then you've also got I'm Still Here, which got Actress International and Best Picture. Crazy. Nickel Boys that just got Adapted Screenplay Picture. You got Doom Part 2, which got 4 nominations. Yeah, wow.
And you have 2 international
I know
nominees that are in Best Picture. So,
and you know what, Emilia Perez and I'm Still Here are in my top 5 of last year. So, and The Substance. So, in all, I've heard a lot of chatter about this being an underwhelming year, and I don't get me wrong. There's things I would prefer to have got into the category like most years, but I'm not. Compared to other years, I'm not particularly disappointed.
Yeah, me neither, because, I mean, if you look at the nominees here, I mean, if you look at my top 10 personally, I mean, Complete Unknowns in the top 10, Conclave's in the top 10, Dune Part 2, top 10, Emilia Perez, top 10, Nickel Boys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, if I could go 5 out of 10 here, I mean, there's a lot of films that I'd snub out Anora because it sucks. But any chance I get to knock on that film, it's going to be,
I will say,
beautiful.
One of my favorite nominations was September 5 getting a script nomination because I really liked that movie, and I don't think very many people saw it.
I think the movie sucked.
Somebody's already made a penis to vagina comment.
Max always does. One thing I will say this about No Other Land, though. No Other Land getting nomination for a direct feature film without having a distribution team, that's insane. Like, that's a great nomination for them. Going down the list real quick. My favorite thing about editing, obviously, is Conclave, because I think that's the best edited film of last year. Where was I? There was just looking at. Oh, my favorite snub of the day. My favorite snub of the day is right here. Original score. I don't care. Challengers is not nominated for any Oscars. That makes me happy because that movie sucked, and I know both of you liked it, so you guys can kiss it. I know, especially you, Matthew Fox.
I liked the score. I thought the movie was pretty good, but score, I am surprised that it didn't get in.
Exactly.
For score, I know my wife was here when the nominations were being read, and she's like, Wicked got for score? Exactly. Is that an original music? And I was like, well, maybe it's score. I don't know. I didn't get that nomination. It pissed me off, and Wicked and score, that's to me when I started getting scared about, like, oh God, is Wicked going to show up in director? Is Wicked going to show up in director? Mm-hmm. Because, well, and I like how they couldn't keep themselves from laughing about the best original song, the last one going to Elton John.
Oh yeah, what a ridiculous nomination.
Well, I mean, that's Diane Warren. Everybody saw that one coming a mile away.
Everyone saw that going.
And their decision to not have any of those songs performed makes more sense now that
the music department are the most biased in the whole of the Academy, and they have proven that by nominating Diane Warren and Elton John in the same year.
I will say this. Hang on, time out 1 second. Let me say this, though. I think, first off, The 6888 is a far better film than anybody's giving credit for. I actually really enjoyed it, and I actually really like the song. I think the song's incredible.
So you're the one.
So, I mean, if I had a vote, I definitely not sure I would have put it here, but it's definitely Never Too Late is definitely.
Honestly, I don't even remember. I loved Sing Sing, and I've seen it a couple of times. I do not remember where the original song is in there. It must be over the credits.
Yeah. Let's see here. Do we have it? Nosferatu getting a few nominations made me very happy just because it popped up.
There's another one that I would have voted for in director. Because I think the visuals, cinematography, production design, I mean, the look of that film, even if you didn't love the story and where it was going, but, I liked the performances too, but the look of it and the way it was paced and directed.
This is the only.
I wonder if it just came out too late.
Yeah. But A Complete Unknown came out the same day. Technically. Nickel Boys, writing. That's all I really care about. Actually, to be honest with you, this is a hell of a nomination tree right here. I'll take these 4 all day of the week. Sing Sing's an okay movie. I don't think Sing Sing's that great. But even so, I'll take it just because Macklin's in there. You know what I mean? Like, give me all of these. First off, so this is what I was looking when you watch the nominations happen. It was like, oh, in collaboration with blah 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 blah. I was like, man, that's a lot of people. And then Sing Sing popped up, and I was like, oh Lord, that's even more people. You know, it was just kind of funny just watching the list of people be on and on. But this to me is a strong category. I like it a lot. I think Conclave's going to win though. All right. Sean, this makes my head hurt. I can't scroll down any. Yeah, I can't scroll down any further, which makes me really sad because I'd love just to like block that out of my view. But very happy for Jesse Eisenberg, now Academy nominated. You know, the rest of the category can go in the trash can. No offense to any substance lovers. Let's see here. Any other things that we want to talk about? I'm trying to go through this list here. Still, Nickel Boy's missing this is heartbreaking. Costume.
Cinematography, yeah, that was offensive. And at that point, I got worried because I was thinking, oh my God, is it not going to get into Best Picture now?
Yeah, which is
the choice to shoot from the first person perspective is polarizing for people.
Well, people
Clearly
are idiots.
I wasn't making a value judgment. I'm just saying I think it was a polarizing choice,
for sure.
Which is why it ends up missing some of these because some people really liked it, some people really hated it though, and that's always a tough beat to come back from.
100% agree. 100% agree.
Don't get me wrong. I know that Emilia Perez got the most nominations, but with how much Wicked overperformed, I'm still predicting Zoe Saldana, but I am really, really looking out for Ariana Grande to start taking some steam.
Nope.
I'm still predicting Zoe Saldana, but
nope.
You got to be open-minded, Ricky. You never know.
I'm not open-minded. Just go to the nominations.
Ricky doesn't like to favor the best performance in a category.
If I was, I definitely would be talking about Zoe Saldana. Let's see here real quick before we wrap up. I'm going to tell you guys, let me see if they've updated the odds in Vegas so that I can explain to you which nominees are closed here. The one, they shut it down for now. I figured they would just because of they're waiting to refresh here. I'll break those down in our next episode of the Awards Central where we talk a little bit more in depth about, we're going to start doing some predictions here. All right, real quick. We're gonna predict right now as of this second, and then obviously Benji and I are subject to change just because we're going to talk about it more and more across the board. But I'm going to just one quick answer, no reasons why, no explanation. Just tell me who's going to win each category that I mentioned. Matthew Fox, we'll do an order of Fox, Benji, me. Fox, lead actor. Who's going to win?
Ray Fiennes.
Benji.
Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet. Supporting role, Kieran Culkin.
Kieran Culkin.
Kieran Culkin.
Leading role, Fox.
Demi Moore.
Demi Moore.
Mikey Madsen.
God.
Supporting role, Zoe Saldana.
Ariana Grande.
Zoe Saldana.
Director, Brady Corbet.
Jacques Audiard.
God, that would be the fucking greatest thing. Oh my, could you imagine Oscar night? He wins, the fucking internet would explode.
That'd be hilarious. My pick's Brady Corbet, by the way, but yeah, that'll be hilarious.
And let's do Best Picture. I think Conclave is winning Best Picture.
I'm going with Conclave.
You know what? For now, yeah, I'm going to go Conclave.
That's why I went with Jacques Audiard. They usually split those.
I'm just going to let y'all know. I want Emilia Perez to win all the awards to piss off Twitter. I do love the film too. Let's not get it twisted. I love Emilia Perez. I'm not afraid to stand on the mountain that's alone, apparently, with very few people that like the film. And I know it's I know Benji, you liked it. I know Matt, you liked it as well. But it's just crazy to me the amount of hate it gets. It's got 13 nominees. It's one of those things where it's like, deal with it.
Do you know what's crazy is that it's got one of the might be the lowest audience score for any Best Picture nominee, and it's got the most nominees out of any film.
As it should. So, but that wraps it up. Benji and I will return very soon, breaking down our favorite, our predictions for most of the categories. Matthew Fox, thanks for joining us this early Oscar morning. We will talk to you guys later.